I make $86,000 a year. It's a good number. But last Thursday, I sat down to do the math, and that's when I realized I've got 43 days. 43 days between my next paycheck and losing everything. 22 years working, $800,000 earned. And right now, I have $2,847. Last Thursday, 5 days ago, my wife collapsed on our bathroom floor. She couldn't stand. 6 hours later, we're in the emergency room. They tell us it's 3 herniated discs. There's a new treatment, very effective. She could walk again in 3 months. Then insurance says it's experimental. They won't cover it. $14,500. And sitting there, watching her unable to stand, I realized I don't have it. The loan officer's young, 25 maybe? Cheap suit, scripted smile. Sign here, here, and here, sir. Sir. My hands are shaking. He thanks me by name, as if this was a decision. I just sit in the parking lot. He'll forget me tomorrow. I won't forget this feeling. Small, failed, invisible. Tonight, 2 a.m., I can't sleep. I'm at the kitchen table. Every bank statement I can find, credit card bills, old checkbooks, going back years. And I keep coming back to the same question. How did I earn $800,000 and end up with 43 days? And then I stop asking if it happened and start asking, where did it go? Sitting here at 2 a.m., surrounded by all this evidence, I remember something. My uncle has type 2 diabetes. A diabetic can eat, function, look healthy, work, pay bills, seem fine, but their body can't process sugar the right way. So they need insulin, not to thrive, just to not die. Every day, multiple times, forever. And that's when it hits me. They're not using insulin. They're dependent on it. And sitting here, I realize something else. I'm not using my paycheck. I'm dependent on it. Complete dependence on my next paycheck. And it has a name. I've just never said it out loud. Until tonight. The financial diabetes. At 25, I made $32,000. Small apartment, used car, basic. Felt fine. At 30, $54,000. Better apartment, newer car, cable. Still felt fine. At 35, $72,000. 2-bedroom, nice car, premium cable, gym, weekend trips. I felt successful. This year, I'm 44. I make $86,000. And when Linda collapsed last Thursday, I realized I had 43 days. My income nearly tripled over 22 years. But my margin? It's actually worse than when I started. Because at 25, making $32,000, I could have scraped together $3,000 if something went wrong. Now, making $86,000, I can't. I don't have months like I should. I have 43 days, so I haven't been climbing. I've been running faster on the same treadmill for 22 years, getting sicker without realizing it. So tonight, at this table, I go through everything. 22 years of statements. I need to see where $800,000 went. How I ended up with 43 days instead of years. And as I'm going through it, I start finding things. Decisions I forgot I made. choices that felt small at the time. And now, I can see they've been destroying me. First thing I notice, the Camaro. 1991. My neighbor Dave bought one. Red, T-top, beautiful machine. I remember standing in my driveway. I can see it so clearly. Looking at our sedan, 6 years old, ran fine, no payment, and I felt small. Dave's Camaro made me feel small. So I told Linda we needed a fun car. She said, we have a car that works. And I said, we can afford it. Right there. That was it. The first lie. We can afford it. $18,000. $340 a month. For 60 months. The payment fit. So I thought. That meant I should buy it. This wasn't an idea. It was a commitment. A signature. And once it's signed, you don't undo it. But here's what's killing me right now. Sitting here at 2 a.m. Last year, 1997, I saw that same car for sale. Same Camaro, same scratch on the quarter panel. I called. The guy selling it was the father. He said, I bought this for my son. 19, insisted he needed it. I told him he didn't. He wouldn't listen. 2 years later, the kid comes home from college and says, Dad, teach me how to say no to things. That kid learned at 19 what I still haven't learned at 44. How to say no. Second thing I'm finding tonight, restaurant lunches. I open a box, and there they are. Receipts. A pile. I didn't remember them as a habit. They felt small. But stacked together, they're not small at all. 8 years of credit card statements, 1990 to now. Every workday. And every time I told myself it's only $8. I'm adding it up right now. $16,000. $16,000. On lunches I don't even remember the taste of. And that one's making me cry sitting here at this table. Because if I don't remember them, what was the point? I traded $16,000 for nothing. Not even a memory. Just 43 days instead of months of security. Looking at the total now, 22 years, $800,000 earned. And I have 43 days to show for it. I've eaten $650,000 worth of financial donuts. And nobody tricked me. Nobody took advantage of me. I did this to myself. With my own decisions. My own justifications. My own lies. My own lies. I can afford it. I deserve this. Everyone else is doing it. I'll start saving when... I've been telling myself those lies for 22 years. They felt true. They sounded reasonable. But tonight, looking at the evidence, I can see exactly what they cost me. Months of security. Years of freedom. Reduced to 43 days. And the question I'm asking myself right now is, how long am I going to keep doing this? But understanding that I'm sick, that's not what's breaking me. What's breaking me is something that happened 2 weeks ago, before Linda's injury, before I knew any of this, before I calculated 43 days. Emma's 12. 2 weeks ago, Target, school supplies, just a normal Tuesday. Art section. She stops. Dad, Can I get these? Prismacolor pencils. Professional. 72 colors. $27.49. We didn't need them. She has good ones at home. These were an upgrade. Standing there, fluorescent lights. Emma looking up at me. Two thoughts. First, $289 in checking, till Friday. Second, if I say no, she'll think we can't afford it. She'll think I'm not successful. So I say yes, immediately. Not because we had the money, but because I needed her to see me as someone who can say yes. Someone who has it figured out. Someone with more than 43 days. Check out. Walk to the car. She's opening the pencils, organizing them by color family. Bank notification. Balance below 200. 173.21. Mortgage is due in 4 days. Paycheck hits in 3. The math works. Barely. If nothing else goes wrong, if no charges hit, if the timing's perfect, and I'm sitting there realizing I just spent $27 on pencils to look successful while having $173 in the bank and a $2,200 mortgage coming. Sitting in the car, engine running. I'm watching Emma organize the pencils. Warm colors on one side, cool colors on the other. Thanks, Dad. You're the best. You always get me what I want. And that's when I understood. Really understood. I'm not teaching her financial responsibility. I'm not teaching her security. I'm teaching her the disease. She's learning that success means spending money the moment you have it. That being a good parent means saying yes, even when you shouldn't. That worth is measured by what you can buy, not what you can withstand. That 43 days is normal. That dependence is success. She's learning to confuse lifestyle with stability. To need money not to build a life, but to maintain an image. And if nothing changes, in 20 years, she'll be standing in her own kitchen at 2 a.m., making $10,000 a month, calculating her own days to catastrophe, probably fewer than 43, and teaching the same disease to her children. That night, 2 weeks ago, driving home, Emma asleep in the back seat, $27 pencils in the passenger seat, and I'm making a decision. This sickness stops with me. Not tomorrow, not when I have more money, not when I have months instead of days. Tonight, right now, because if I don't break this, she inherits it the same way I inherited it from my parents, and she passes it to her children, one paycheck at a time, one generation at a time, forever. Unless I stop it. Now! So what did I do? 3 months ago, February, right after Target, right after that decision, I took a piece of paper and I wrote one rule. Every raise I get from this point on, I pretend I never got it. That's it. One rule. Not build 12 months. Not get 6. Just this. Raises don't exist. Add days, not lifestyle. 2 weeks after I wrote that rule, annual cost of living adjustment, $220 more a month. The day it took effect, I set up an automatic transfer, $220, separate savings, different bank, high yield, every paycheck, before I can see it, before I can think about it. And then I lived the exact same life as before. Same apartment, Same car, same groceries, same everything. First 2 months, I hated it. I'd log into savings and see the money sitting there. Month 1, $440. Month 2, $880. My brain starts screaming. That's a weekend at the coast. That's the couch we've been wanting. That's adding days to 43. Wait, that last one's true. I was adding days, but it felt like punishment. Like making more money just to live the exact same life. But then last month, just last month, something happened at work. Layoffs. Not me. I kept my job, but they cut 15% of the department. People I'd worked with for years. I saw people crying in the bathrooms, updating resumes in conference rooms, panic applying to jobs over lunch. Everyone doing the same math, counting days. Most of them had less than 30. For the first time in 22 years, I felt something I didn't have a word for. Space. That's what it is. Space. Distance. Breathing room. Margin. Space between my life and my next paycheck. Space between survival and my employer's decisions. 43 to 68. That's the first symptom of health. Right now, 3 months in, I'm at 75 days. Same apartment, same car, same life. Completely different nervous system. That's when the disease started lifting. Not because I'm earning more, but because my days are increasing. But something else happened. Something that scared me. My coworker, Robert, 3 months ago, right when I started changing, he pulled me aside. You okay? You've been different. I asked, different how? He said, quieter, like you're not here. But I was finally here. Present. For the first time. Not constantly calculating days. A month later, we're working late, just the two of us. He says, I was wrong. You're not pulling away. You're lighter, like you're not carrying what the rest of us are. Robert died 6 weeks ago. Heart attack. 62. Still working. Still carrying the weight. Still living in days, not months. He saw what I was doing. He understood it. He said it out loud. He never implemented it. And now he's gone. But there's one more thing. Something small from last month I keep thinking about. Grocery store. Magazine rack at checkout. Car and driver. $4.99. I always buy it. Every month, for years. I pick it up. I'm about to put it in the cart, and I stop. I think, am I actually going to read this? Or am I spending a day of margin on something I'll throw away? So I put it back. The woman behind me, older, maybe 60, she smiles. Good for you. She tells me she worked as a cashier for 40 years, saw millions of people buy magazines they never read. You're the first person this week who put one back. And then she says something I won't forget. Every dollar you don't spend is a dollar you keep. Every dollar you keep is another day you own. That $5 magazine was about half a day of margin. And standing there, I realized that was the first conscious decision I'd made with money in 22 years. The first time I stopped asking, can I afford this? And started asking, is this worth a day? I'm starting to see other things change. Last week, annual physical. The doctor's looking at my chart. Blood pressure's down. Weight's stable. Cholesterol's improved. She asks, "What changed?" And I say, "Nothing medical. Just, I went from 43 to 75. She looks at me like she didn't hear me right. So I explain. I stopped carrying financial stress. I started building margin. Apparently, my body noticed. She leans back, and she says, "You know how many patients are killing themselves with money stress? Not people who don't have money. People making good money who can't figure out why they're always anxious. People living in days their entire lives thinking it's normal." She sits there for a second. I tell them to meditate, exercise, take time off. Maybe I should start asking, how many days do you have? And Emma, she's been noticing, for the last 3 months, I've stopped saying yes to everything and started saying, let's think about whether we actually need this. Not in a guilt way, not scarcity, just thoughtfully. Is this worth the days it costs? And yesterday, literally yesterday, her teacher called me at work. She said Emma organized something at school, a supply drive. Emma put her name on it. Emma went around the 6th grade classes, collecting extra notebooks, pens, folders, stuff kids already had but didn't need. She donated everything to the counselor's office for kids whose families are struggling, kids whose parents probably have less than 30 days. Apparently, Emma said something her teacher thought I should hear. She said, "Having what you need is more important than having what you want. Having days is more important than having things." She's 12. I never taught her that sentence. I never said the word days to her, but she's been watching for 3 months, watching me pause before buying, watching me ask, is this worth the days? And somehow, without me realizing it, she absorbed a completely different lesson than the one I'd been teaching before. Tonight, right now, 5:47 a.m., I'm standing in the kitchen. Same spot. The exact same spot where I stood 5 days ago when Linda collapsed on the bathroom floor. And the same spot I've been sitting for the last 5.5 hours. Going through statements. 5 days ago, I calculated 43. 22 years. $800,000 earned. 43 days to show for it. And today, right now, 75 days. Not from earning more. Same 86,000. But in 3 months, I added 32 days. That's not wealth, not retirement, not financial independence. That's health. Going from sick to starting to heal. So here's what I'm realizing, sitting here. 5:50 a.m. If you earn well but can't answer the question, how many days do I have? If your lifestyle goes up every time your income does, if one missed paycheck creates immediate panic, you're not broken. You're not irresponsible. You're not failing. You're sick. And you're probably living with days calling it normal, just like I did for 22 years. So the question is, what are you going to do when you realize how many days you have? The cure isn't more income, it's more days. It's pretending raises don't exist until you have months instead of days. It won't feel like progress at first. It'll feel like punishment. Like making more money just to live the exact same life. But 3 months, 6 months, when something goes wrong, and something always goes wrong, you won't panic. You'll know your number. You'll have days. And those days are what freedom actually feels like. But Emma's learning something different. She's learning that having days creates peace, that you build security one day at a time, that saying no to things means saying yes to days, and days mean freedom. 5 days ago, at 43, I thought I was fine. Tonight, at 75, I know I'm starting to heal. And by next year, 6 months. Health doesn't look like what I thought it would. It doesn't look like a big salary, or a nice car, or saying yes to everything. It looks like days turning into weeks, weeks turning into months. It feels like breath. It sounds like silence, where panic used to be. And the disease stops when you decide it stops. Not with more money, with more days. And I'm deciding, right now, tonight, 43 to 75, 75 to 100, 100 to 6 months, one day at a time. So, how many days do you have?